I work for a multinational company, and the other day I got a couple of emails from a couple of close global colleagues whom I work with on a day-to-day basis. And each of them informed me that it was their last day and they had been laid off as a part of the latest restructuring and the RIF, reduction in force action. And this is something we in the global IT had been hearing about from the grapevine for a while. The whole restructuring and waves of transformation that happen every now and then. So in a sense, you can say we were mentally prepared, but when it hits one, it's not easy to react to that news, both for the survivors who have not been impacted and for the people who have been impacted. And subsequent to that, we of course had an immediate all hands message where our managers took us through the process, or at least at a very high level, talked about it and said, yes, people have been laid off. It has been happening. And thankfully, your roles are still okay. And that was that. There was no announcement of specific people who had been impacted or why they had been impacted. But that's just the nature of things, I guess. Right. So, and this got me thinking. A couple of these emails really stood out because one is one single message would make you think, yes, something is happening. But a couple of them coming in succession means there is a pattern. And sure enough, we had our all hands and it was announced more formally. And those announcements kind of made me reflect on our careers in IT. And here's the article that I wrote for IEEE more than 2 decades ago, in Jan of 2004, more than 20 years ago, when I was just starting my career. And I had strongly come to believe that we are all free agents, independent people with our own lives and career, although we are part of the large organization, or maybe working for a large or small organization. In a sense, we are not organization men anymore. We are not, very few of us would join an organization and hope to stay our entire careers and eventually retire in a certain role. As free agents, it is for us to chalk out our own career path, our own goals, aspirations, and plan our work-life balance, while at the same time have the comfort of working and networking within a large organization. And even in a large organization, you can still be a free agent. But that also means that you need to be ready to walk out when there are other opportunities and also be prepared to be told to walk out when opportunities don't arise. And what does that mean, right? Let's see. If you see the stock chart for tech companies, NASDAQ, for the past 5 years, the path is not always linear, not always upwards. You have upward trajectory and then a downward slope, and then again upwards and downwards. So what it means is we are really working and living from quarter to quarter. From quarter to quarter, we are, the corporate operations and the results are quarter to quarter, which means your leaders are measured on their quarterly earnings and results. And if they don't deliver more than 1 or 2 quarters in a row, there's got to be corporate action to be taken. And in many cases, corporate action leads to cost cutting. Cost cutting leads to layoffs. And layoffs are an unfortunate part of the game, but it is almost a given that if you have been working in a large organization, involuntary layoffs or RIFs, reduction in force, are the nature of things. And this is something you and I have to accept. Now, having accepted it, what do you do if you are impacted by a layoff or a RIF? There are a few things that we can do. Control the controllables, because the uncontrollable, that is your job, has left you or you have left the job, there's no control over that aspect. But once that happens, you need to first and foremost acknowledge your emotions. Acknowledge the fact that yes, there are a range of emotions you're going to go through. Shock, disbelief, anger. The question, why me? Why my team? And why Bob was still around and I'm not around? And you need to acknowledge these questions, acknowledge your emotions. Don't suppress it or ignore those emotions because they can affect your mental and physical health. After you acknowledge that, take a break. Give yourself space to grieve. It is a grief because you are a part of an organization. Your center of focus has changed. So you need to give yourself space to grieve and decompress. You might be tempted to jump back on the horse and start riding again, but you are better off just taking a break. Prioritize your mental health, practice self care, create a routine, and stay positive because things will bounce back sooner rather than later. And while you're doing that, you have an opportunity to shift your focus. Write down your accomplishments in your past job, the people you worked with, and then reflect on where you are in your career and how you want to take it next. Define your own values. Values will continue to evolve, will continue to transform. And even this latest job that you had been laid off from, you will have learnings that you can reflect on, uh, the strength that you developed. Reflect on that and then build on it. And then continue to network. Network with people. LinkedIn is a great source of networking. Likewise, there are online, offline sources of networking. Reach out, pick up the phone, send a WhatsApp, send messages to people you haven't connected in a while, and then start refreshing your mindset. Now, if you do have an opportunity, consider a career coach or a mentor, a person you can bounce off your thoughts and ideas, and then plan your next course of action. Now, all of this has to be deliberate. It need not take a long time. Depends on your role, depend on your state of mind and your personal finances. You do have a cushion, take time off, travel. If you do not, if you have other pressures, financial pressures, take that into account. But make sure you take a break, prioritize your mental health, and stay focused.